Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be drawing Anton from the Professor Layton video game series. So let's get started. So yes, I am drawing Anton from the Professor Layton video game series, and if you don't know what Professor Layton is, it is a video game series for Nintendo 3DS and DS. There are 6 games in the series, and in the game you solve like puzzles and brain teasers and stuff. And there's usually like a story or a mystery that goes along with it, and you follow along Professor Layton and his apprentice Luke. And it is one of my favorite video game series. I love it so much. It is so good. Anton appears in the second game. I'm not going to say too much about him because I don't want to give spoilers. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much about Anton, but I'm drawing him kind of sad because his backstory is very sad if you played the game. It makes you feels, it hits you in the feels. It's so good. At first I was going to draw Flora from the Professor Layton series, but then I'm like, okay, I've been drawing a lot of girls and I've never done a speed paint or anything with a boy. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna draw a boy. And I'm like, okay, let's try to challenge myself even more and have the picture set in a different lighting than what I usually do. So usually I do like daytime pictures. So I'm like, okay, let's have it at nighttime and try out some new cool lighting effects. So after thinking about it, I'm like, Anton, nighttime, and he's a boy. Now Anton is actually quite girlish looking. If you look, when I first saw the concept art for Anton, oh, and here's what my line art looks like. I kind of skip that because it's really boring. I might get back on to Anton in a second. I'm going to talk about my coloring and then I'll talk more about Anton. So here I'm laying down my base color and I am basically picking colors. He has blonde hair, so I chose a blonde color, but then I lower the opacity to make it so the background of the blue kind of shines through. I did this for all of the colors just to make them kind of more in unison, and the interesting thing is that the color I'm using for his hair isn't actually a blonde color. It's actually like a bluish, grayish, teal color, but when I put it on the canvas with the blue, it appears to be more of a yellow blonde color because of color association. So like if I put a gray dot on a black background, the gray dot would maybe appear really light. But if I put the same gray dot on a white background, the gray would appear maybe darker. So I was trying to figure out how to make the colors read a certain way, even though they're not anywhere close to that color. So that is what I was trying to do. And I have him sadly looking out the window. So here I am zooming out and I am just establishing what I want my lighting to be. So I have the moonlight on the left side of him, and I thought maybe in the background there could be like a candle or fireplace going. And I zoomed out just so I would just not go into detail and just like worry about how all the lighting will look together. And then I go back in and with the clean lighting and more detailed and stuff. So first I'm going in with just kind of like what I call my form shadows. I don't really put in any fancy color. I just put a slightly darker color of the base color just to give me an idea of the form and shape of the character or of what I'm drawing. And I'm trying to be better about not working all in one space at one time. So like a lot of times I'll do all of the shading for the skin all at once and all the shading for the hair all at once, and I won't like move around and stuff. But I've been trying to move around more, so like I'll do a little bit of shading on the skin and then maybe I'll do a little bit of shading on the hair, just because it helps me keep things more in unison, I think, and just helps me kind of picture more of how everything is working together instead of just working all in one spot and then going all to another spot and then they don't really mesh very well. So I'm trying to work better on making things like cohesive, I guess. And here I'm adding the highlights. The highlights were so fun to add in this picture, especially the fire highlights that will be on the right side was a lot of fun to do because I've never really done stuff like that. So back to Anton's actual character design. His actual character design in the game has very long hair, and I thought he was a girl when I first saw him. And then he started talking and he has like the super manly low voice, and I'm just like, okay, you are not a woman, you are a dude. But he has this very long, kind of curly, swirly hair. I made it, so to make him look more like a dude, I shortened his hair. His hair is actually like to his shoulders, but I made it more around chin length. And I made it less curly. It's still slightly wavy for me anyways. I'm just not super good with the super curly. He's not like majorly curly. It's more like he put his hair in rollers or something. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, here I am adding the fire lighting. And at first I go in with it very, very bright and very, very saturated. I do that a lot in this picture just because I find it easier for me to go in super duper strong and then back off a little bit. Or else I'll end up like chickening out and I won't make things as like bright or as dark as I would like it to be. So I tend to just go really strong with the color and then like bring it down a notch. For the fire lighting, I go from a red to an orange and then like a yellow to a white. That's kind of how I was achieving hopefully what looks like a fire effect. I think it looks like a pretty warm fire lighting. So hopefully it reads like that for all of you. So if you've never played the Professor Layton series, I highly recommend it, especially if you like brain teasers and stuff. And a lot of the stories are just so good, and the characters are really, really cute and unique, and I just love the Professor Layton series. It'll always have a very special place in my heart. I was very sad when it ended, but they did a good job on the last game, so... For the window, I'm kind of adding some like dust texture to it because he lives in kind of an old house. So I'm like, maybe I'll try to make it look like the windows haven't been like cleaned in a while. I mean, he has a butler, but I don't know how much his butler does. His butler doesn't clean the windows, that lazy butler. I don't remember the butler's name. The necklace, his necklace thing was really hard for me to draw. I was having a really hard time with it. If I would have kept in the line art, you guys would have seen me struggling with it, but I was having such a hard time with his necklace thing. I seriously had to bring in the reference and have it like right there to look at it. Oh, and here I'm coloring the jewel thing. The jewel thing is so fun to color. I just love coloring shiny things. It's just so fun because it's like, oh, and here I'm doing his eye. I'm sorry I waited so long to do his eye because he looks really, really creepy throughout like all of this. But like I always try to save the eyes for kind of close to last because they're like my favorite part. And so it's like a little reward for myself. Like, okay, you drawed all the boring stuff that isn't as fun to color. So now you get to color the eyes. And I just really like coloring the eyes. So I try to save them for last to keep me motivated. Because I have found that if I leave the background and all the boring stuff for last, I won't finish the picture pretty much. I'll be like, I'm bored now. So I have to be good about like, okay, I'm gonna go work on the background now, and then I'll come back to the character so that way I don't like stop a picture halfway. We are getting close to the end of the video here. I am just changing lighting levels and making it more blue and orange and stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this speed paint. I had so much fun with the lighting. It was a lot of fun and very different from like what I usually do and stuff. So it was very fun. Here is the finished picture. And thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.